Don't get the kids
A
to the
very
net
good
for it,
evening
right?
to everybody, and welcome to a special Monday night program of At the Picnic, season number 2, episode number 5. Danny, we've got a wonderful young up-and-coming race caller on called Josh Heriot. We'll introduce him shortly. We'll just very quickly go through. We had a wonderful meeting at Hillsville on Saturday. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it, but geez, the crowd was fantastic, Danny. And when you drove in, there was buses everywhere. So there was bucks parties and hens parties everywhere.
Well, that's good. Hillsville's always been famous for that sort of get up. They always get a good turnout of Bucks days and hens days. So that's really good that their crowd was so solid. It was a great day for racing. The weather was absolutely magnificent.
Beautiful. It was a beautiful day. Yep.
Tyson had alluded that all of his rides had very good chances, and he certainly delivered the goods, having an early double with his good old uncle Tony Carter-Smith. Great to see them get off to a flyer. And then Lee Taylor later in the day, he kicked home a double too. So it was a really solid day's racing with some really good results for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Big congratulations to Tyson, Troy, and Lee. And a couple of little birdies told me after the race meeting, Danny, that the jockeys' room was very, very quiet. Do you know why that was?
Oh, look, I've got no idea why that'd be.
It
Yeah,
was
no,
actually
I had a
because
couple
you
of,
weren't there, Danny. They said it was extremely
yeah,
quiet. You
I
weren't
had I
yelling
had a
at
couple of
people.
the girls. Yeah, I had it. Oh, come on! I don't yell at everyone. I had a couple of the girls send me a message and say we missed your laughter there today. So, look, well done to everybody. Also, well done to Peter Foster as well. He was one of Lee Taylor's doubles, part of that. So, really, really good to see. A really good mix. Don and Sean, of course, got one up as well. So, yeah, it was a really good day's racing. Nobody particularly donkey licked anyone, or there wasn't really any huge margins. It was a really, really close sort of day. So,
In saying that,
yeah,
Kalani was very impressive.
had heard that time looked well too, so that was good. But Don and Short had already alluded to you that was going to be the case. So
And
it's not like there were any
the bookies
surprises.
kept it nice and short too, so we couldn't get odds on that one. So, no, well done to everyone.
You're
Now,
always talking about your bloody punting stories, you and your 2%. So
I've got to have
anyway,
my dollar each way on it, Danny. Like,
yeah,
right.
righto,
Yeah.
righto. So. Let's welcome our guest of the day, who is now a resident caller at Mansfield and at Alexandra. So unfortunately, we haven't heard him yet, but we will tomorrow.
And at Woolamai.
And he's coming to Woolamai too.
Yeah,
there you go. Didn't know that one.
So this is the wonderful Josh Heriot. If you don't recognise his voice, thank you very much for joining us, Josh, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
No, it's good to be joining you both. I almost feel a little underqualified given the caliber of guests you've had on this season.
Oh, look, we're very lucky.
No, don't be shy. We love having everyone on here, and to get to the top, mate, you've got to start somewhere. So you can come and join the entertainment here.
Josh is very, very good in all parts of the media, Danny. He's very modest about what he does, but we'll get a bit out of him. But I do special comments for VFL Livestream, and last game of last season, I'd never met Josh before. I sort of recognised the name, and in speaking to him, he was the commentator for the game. In speaking to him, he said that he is a picnic race caller. So that's how I sort of realised, geez, what can't this bloke do? Like he's, and if anyone didn't see, he was on racing.com the other day doing this was weird, a reversal call of a Cox plate. How did that go, Josh? It was really weird.
Yeah, look, I'm actually doing an internship with That's Racing at the moment. So it's as part of my uni degree. So I'm doing a Bachelor of Sports Media at the moment. But that was a funny little idea that Hamish McLaughlin actually came up with. And I wasn't really expecting to be asked to do anything like that. I sort of walked in expecting to do a few things behind the scenes, and when I introduced myself to Hamish, I said I'd call it a few of the picnic tracks, and he thought that was great. So he said, "Right, you've got a segment next week." So certainly wasn't expecting it, and it was a crazy idea doing the 1986 Cox plate in reverse, but I guess it worked, and it was very enjoyable.
I'm going to have to look that up because I love that show. Hamish and they just absolutely crack me up. I love watching them. It's always full of giggles and all the banter that goes on between those two.
Yeah, it's
So yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
they are. They're very entertaining, I must say. I love
Mm.
catching them, Joe.
Yeah.
So what else are you doing apart from your uni degree and calling at the picnics?
So as Elvo touched on, I've been doing a lot of the footy. So just come off a busy winter doing the footy. So I've been doing the VFL the last couple of years, and then I'm involved with the Amos as well. So the VAFA here in Melbourne. So usually doing about 2 games a weekend over the winter, which is good. It keeps me busy. And I've had a long association with footy as well. I played as a junior and went up to under-19s at Blackburn and played at school as well. So yeah, I love my footy and racing, that's for sure.
And who do you
Oh,
follow in the
brilliant.
footy, Josh? I know, but let us all know.
I'm a Swan supporter,
You
Sydney
are.
Swans.
You
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
So that's why you and Jonty get along very well. Brendan Jonty Rhodes, of course,
Yes,
one of the
exactly.
owners, Danny, who also is a
Yes, he's
commentator for
in front of
VFL
me.
Livestream. He's a
Yeah.
massive
Yes.
Sydney supporter. So,
Mm,
um, who with a race caller, you sort of look up to
mm,
people, Josh. Who is
yeah.
the main person you look up to and probably try to be? And how much of Ben Spall and Adam? I struggle to pronounce his name. How
Yeah.
do you pronounce it?
Oslandsky.
Olzanski.
Oslansky. How
Yeah.
much help have they given you?
They've been fantastic over the years. I got into doing the picnic simply by sending an email to Adam just at the end of COVID, I think it was. And with COVID, I mean, we were locked down, so there wasn't many opportunities or anything. And I'm a Melbourne boy, so before COVID, I was getting along to a lot of the metropolitan tracks, Flemington, Caulfield, and Moonee Valley, Sandown, and just practicing in the spare boxes. And then I sort of wanted to progress that a little further, so I sent an email to Adam and the guys at Woolamai, and he was happy to help. So he threw me a couple of races to call almost 2 years ago now. So yeah, I called my first 2 races at Woolamai, and I guess from there, the last couple of picnic seasons, I've gone to most meetings, and along with Benny Spoil, I'll call a couple of races, and then he'll do the rest. So it's been great. They've given me some really good advice over the last couple of seasons, and always willing to help out. Love giving young guys opportunities as well. So they're fantastic people to have around the picnic circuit as well. And I guess if you mentioned mentors and idols, Matt Hill for me has probably been that one idol that I've looked up to most. And I actually met Matt at the tennis about 5 years ago, just by chance. I was walking out and he was walking in, and I raced up to him and introduced myself, and he invited me up into the box at Caulfield a couple of weeks later, and I guess everything progressed from there. So he's been great as well with advice over the years, and yeah, I've got to know him. I've got to know him really well.
Because Matt
During the
Hill,
Cup Carnival on racing.com, there has been a segment that it gets together Dan Malecki, Matt Hill, Greg Miles, and quite a few, and Stephen Cord. Yeah, Stephen. And I must say, I sat down and I watched all of them talking about their different calls of different races and how they got started and the muck-ups and that sort of thing that they've the boo-boos that they've made in race calling and that.
Yeah.
And it was a really fascinating in-look to see how they get ready for calling and that sort of thing. Have you got anything that you necessarily do or don't do when you're sitting in the box getting ready to call your races?
Yeah, I think the best bit of advice I was given, Matty Hill told me this actually. He said, pretend you're calling the race to your mum or your dad, and just block out all that external pressure and the crowd noise. So I've sort of taken his mantra on that, and it seems to work. I still get a little bit nervous. I called the Woolamai Cup this year in January, and I was very nervous. I was gripping onto the binoculars quite tightly because the hands were shaking a little bit. But yeah, in terms of advice on dealing with nerves and stuff, I think that probably stands out as the best piece of advice I've being given. But I have seen that documentary, Danny. It's a very good documentary and gives a great insight into what it's like to call races.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not a side of racing that I've been lucky enough to sort of see, obviously, because I'm out on the other side of the rail. But yeah, I really enjoyed listening to it. It was great value, and of course they're icons. Like it, we don't always remember how much calling Dan Malecki did because he's been interstate sort of thing as well. So I found it really, really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and it's been great getting to know Matty as well over the years because he's introduced me to a lot of those guys as well, like Dan and Greg Miles as well. So meeting those guys has just been amazing.
Are they as easy as they look to talk to?
What was that? Sorry.
Are they as easy to talk to as what they look?
Yeah, well, that's the thing with a lot of these callers. They're very easy to talk to, and they love meeting younger guys, I guess, wanting to get involved. So I've found that with all the callers I've met over the years, they've been really good and really friendly.
Yeah.
Just with Matt Hill, Josh, and you may be aware of this. He sometimes pops up and commentates AFL. Were you aware of that?
Yeah. He called the grand final this year, actually.
He did, and he does the A-League soccer. And he's very good at that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a bit like you, mate. He's very talented at what he does. Now, with Adam, and I'm going to put the pressure on you now, Josh. Me and Danny, you've been sort of trying to chase him for a while to get him on the show.
Yeah.
We're going to put that pressure on you now. Tell him how good it is, and we'd love to have him on the show at some stage this season, mate.
No, I definitely will.
I'll just have to give him a ring and see when he's free. He has told me that
he's a busy man.
Make an appearance. Absolutely.
Now we're at Mansfield tomorrow, Josh, where you're calling. So as a race caller, what's your preparation? What have you done beforehand? Is there anything you're going to do tonight after you maybe get off line with us for tomorrow? Is it you're studying the horses, the form, the numbers, the colours, the jockeys?
It's all colours. So basically, I'll sit down tonight. I've started. I'm about halfway through, and I just go through the fields. I do a bit of form as well. I like to do a bit of the preview beforehand. Yeah, I like to do a bit of a preview before race day as well. So I give out a few selections and stuff, and then it's just memorising colours. So I watch a few replays and just familiarise myself with the colours. So I spend. We've got a few scratchings tomorrow actually, so the fields aren't as big.
No,
but I'll spend a couple of hours tonight just looking over the fields, and I printed them out. So I've actually got them.
What's Sequin Parks Racing colours, Josh?
What's that?
What's Sequin Parks Racing colours? That is Danny Walker. That is Danny Walker trainer. What are her colours?
Only Barrington's racing in those ones tomorrow.
Have you got Splash got
Splash of
racing?
Paint?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's got the red colours, Splash of Paint, I think, doesn't it?
She's got Colin Butler's colours, but in saying that, if you get her confused in the field, I'll be asking if you're colourblind.
Yeah. It's funny, there are a few sets of colours that can trick you at times, and with Don Dwyer and Kilgour, sometimes they have a few runners in races, so you then have to use different coloured caps, and sometimes it all gets a little bit confusing. So I find just trying to keep a steady hand and a bit of composure before the races is key. But Dean Murphy, the judge, is fantastic with that as well. He'll let me know well in advance with colour changes if one's wearing the club colours or one's got a different cap as well.
And
that reminds me, I've got to remember to bring both sets of colours tomorrow. I'll get in trouble. So,
Dean Murphy is coming on the show too in a future episode. Yeah. We've just got to just check on a couple of things with Racing Victoria as he's the judge to make sure that's okay. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be any problems at all.
Yeah, Dean's been great as well with advice over the years, and he's obviously in the box with us as well. So he's been fantastic to get to know over the last couple of seasons.
Now, Danny, Josh has invited me to come up into the tower for any race I want tomorrow, and I said I'll come up for a couple.
No,
Now,
don't let him up there when his horses are
that's what I've
racing.
said.
A, he
That's what
will
I've said.
shepherd you, and B, you won't be able to call the race
Yeah.
because he will
Yeah.
I will.
All right,
out.
race 5, you're banned then,
All
Alvo.
right,
Yeah.
I will end up taking the microphone off you, mate. So, no, I promise race 5, I will not be anywhere near it, but I'll be down on the fence. If this flash of paint gets up, don't worry, mate, you'll hear me.
Yeah.
Mate, they'll hear you at the
I'll be
Melbourne
looking
Cup
out
if
for
that's
you.
the case. So what other bits and pieces apart from your footy calling and that sort of thing, Josh? Where would you like to head with all of the work that you've got going at the moment?
I guess one of my biggest idols as well has been Bruce McAvaney. So when I was growing up, I was obsessed with Bruce, and
The
Bruce
Sports
did everything.
Encyclopedia.
That's exactly right.
He's just amazing.
Yeah, and he did everything from footy, racing, tennis.
Swimming,
he's done it all.
athletics.
Swimming as well, athletics. Yeah. So I've tried to dabble in a few different things. I actually had the opportunity to go over to Wimbledon this year, which was great. So I went over for a few weeks just on a holiday, but I was able to weave a bit of work and a bit of media cred at Wimbledon as well. So spent the full 2 weeks at Wimbledon just doing a bit of writing and stuff for the First Serve and SEN, and I'm doing some stuff over the summer for the Australian Open with AO Radio as well. So I've got the full 2 weeks there. So I love my tennis as well. That's been a big passion of mine, and I'm just very grateful that I've had a few opportunities with the First Serve and SEN as well on that front, and then with the footy as well. That's been awesome. So I think now I'm finishing uni at the end of the year, so I'll just keep chipping away and just try keep progressing as well.
Is there a special? Sorry, Danny. Is there a special person in Josh Heriot's life, mate?
Probably my grandfather, John. So I go for the Swans because Grandpa actually played for South Melbourne. So there's a deep connection there. So he's a Hall of Famer at the Swans and Team of the Century as well. Unfortunately, I didn't inherit any of his skill, but he's.
I was heading down the romantic road there, Josh, and I see how you sort of tried to divert.
Josh steered that right away from there, Paul.
So I'll go straight to the point. Do you have a partner in your life, Josh?
No, not at the moment.
Oh,
not at the moment.
Watch out, Elbo's going to try and matchmake it.
Ladies,
God help you.
Ladies, anyone that knows me on Facebook, that contact me, and we'll set Josh up on a date. What do you reckon, Josh?
Yeah.
God help you, Josh.
Why not?
Oh, he's up for it. There you go, Daddy.
Poor Josh. He doesn't. You don't know what you're in for, Josh. I give you the mail. Absolutely, God help you. So, I was going to say. So, how long? Obviously, you're very close with your grandfather through the footy side of that sort of thing. Do you drag him off to the races and stuff with you when you're calling and stuff at all yet?
Yeah, well, he got me into the racing as well. He's owned many horses with Gay Waterhouse over the years.
Oh, wow.
So I used to go along with him to the races a fair bit. And he actually owned horses going right back to TJ Smith as well. So he's really involved with the racing. So as a young man, I'd go to the races with him, and just being able to meet Gay and the jockeys and stuff like that was amazing when I was sort of a 6-year-old. And probably one memory that stands out, I went to see Black Caviar with him at Flemington, and I'm not sure what number win it was for Black Caviar, but I've never seen Flemington so busy, and the place was off its head. And I can just remember Greg Miles over the PA calling Black Caviar home, and the crowd just reacted, and just this electricity filled Flemington, and that memory stuck with me. So that's probably my first real memory of really falling in love with racing, and Grandpa's had a lot to do with that over the years.
Would he be going tomorrow, Josh? Is he going to tomorrow?
He does try and get to a lot of the meetings I call. He's not going tomorrow. I've got my other set of grandparents coming
Oh,
along
lovely.
though tomorrow because they also enjoy a day at the races, so they're coming along tomorrow. But
It'll be a pleasure to
Grandpa's,
meet them, mate. So please,
yeah,
let's find
yeah,
some time, mate.
yeah. No, absolutely. Grandpa John though, and my grandma, they do like to get to a few of the picnics. So last time I did the Mansfield Cup Day in January, so they were able to get along to that.
Nice.
Mm.
Oh, that's good. So what are some of the highlights that Granddad's had with racing with Gay over the years? Have you got any recollections of those?
Yeah, he had probably his best horse was a horse by the name of Herculean Prince, and that won a Metropolitan in 2010, I think it was. And then it raced in the Caulfield Cup as well. And I think it finished about fifth or sixth. So that's probably been one of his best horses. But I think it's just the friendships he's made in racing as well. You guys will know that racing's filled with some wonderful people, and he's formed some great friendships over the years. So, including with Gay. So I actually did the Phantom call for Gay's stable visit yesterday,
Oh,
which was
wow.
good. So
Did
that
you
was a
get
bit
to
of
meet
fun.
Rachel? Did you get to
What's
meet
that?
Rachel King? Did you meet Rachel King at all?
No, she
I
wasn't there, unfortunately.
yeah,
Or she may have been there. I didn't see her though.
yeah,
But she had a good day on Saturday, didn't she?
she did. She had a wonderful day. I spoke to her after that. She was pretty off the over the moon about the day, and she's really
Yeah.
looking forward to Cup Week in Melbourne.
Mm.
No. And she's I actually met her. She's originally from England, and I met her through the Arabian horse
Oh, yeah.
racing. There's actually a very funny short clip of us doing the chicken dance. And instead of doing the chicken dance, we're doing whips and spurs. And she won this tiny miniature hat, and it was in this great big huge box. And I took a photo of her in the box because the
Oh,
hat
wow.
box was so big and this tiny little hat was so little. And that was just before she was or in the midst of organising coming out to be apprentice to Gay. So
Yeah,
that's how
wow.
long ago it was. And we've sort
Yeah.
of, I wouldn't say we're really close mates or anything, but we do chat here and there, and sort of,
Yeah.
it was wonderful to see
Mm.
see her go from moving over here to do an apprenticeship and then to winning the group races she's won, and the raps that Bjorn Baker gave her on the telly on Saturday. It was really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But
So we've got just under 10 minutes, Danny. If you want to start shooting some quick ones to Josh.
all righty. So Josh, what sort of a music man are you? Are you into pop music, rock music, old music? What sort of music are you into?
I'm into a bit of everything. One of my favourite songs, and one of the first songs I can recall hearing, was "Beautiful Day" by U2, though. So
Yep.
I don't mind a bit of U2. So yeah.
I saw them in concert. I can vouch they're definitely
Mm.
worth going to see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so takeaways: pizza or fish and chips?
Pizza.
uh, pub meal or seafood restaurant?
Pub meal.
Beer, wine, or spirits?
Beer. I don't mind a beer.
So what's your favourite holiday destination? Not work related.
Holiday destination. My grandparents have got a little unit down at Inverloch, not far from Woolamai, actually. So,
Nice.
yeah, Inverloch. Yeah.
What is the one sporting trip in the world that you would cut off your right leg to go and see?
Really good question. I actually went to Royal Ascot this year, but I'd love to do the full 5 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was it good? Did you get to see the king?
Yes, I did. I went a couple of days and didn't do the full 5 days, unfortunately. But yes, got to see the king.
So non-horsey related, what other sporting event would you definitely want to get to?
Probably an Olympic Games.
Yep.
And going to the athletics.
Yep, righto.
Yeah.
So overseas holiday destination?
I'll say I wouldn't mind going to Germany. I'd love to go to Germany. It looks like a wonderful country. Switzerland as well actually looks beautiful.
It is.
Mm.
What about, have you broken any bones?
Yes, I've broken my collarbone playing footy.
Is that all?
Yeah,
You played footy and that was
that's
it.
all. Yeah,
they-
I was a wingman, so I
they-
didn't get a lot of the hard ball. I was an outside runner.
Are they footy trophies up there, Josh? We can see up over your left.
Yes, a couple of footy trophies. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'll say you weren't that bad at it.
Yeah.
You'd
Unless
have us
they,
believe you weren't good at all.
unless they were
Yeah.
participation ones that everybody got.
There might be a couple of participation ones up there.
All right. So have you got any interest in any racehorses at all?
No, but that is a dream to be in a racehorse with a few mates, I think.
Well, we can organise that, Josh.
I was going to say, look out, Paul will organise something
right,
for
mate.
you. Don't good at that.
Well, I'll be in touch, mate.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So are you a fitness person? Do you get out running first thing in the morning to clear the head? What?
Yeah, I do a fair bit of running. I go for maybe three, 4 runs a week. Nothing too big. But yeah, I do like to keep fit and healthy and play tennis as well during the week as well with a few mates. So that keeps me in shape.
Yep. So tell me, what were some of the highlights maybe at Wimbledon while you were there, since they got to see them?
Wimbledon was amazing. I think just experiencing another Grand Slam tournament for the first time, and particularly Wimbledon with its rich history as well, was just awesome. So yeah, the actual site of Wimbledon is set up it's just outside of London in the suburb of Wimbledon, but it's nestled in amongst a suburban area. So you've got houses and parks everywhere, and then you've got the Wimbledon site. So it was pretty amazing. And then the men's final, watching the men's final, it went right down to the wire. It was a 5-setter. So yeah, it was a pretty good tournament to experience, with Vondrousova winning the women's and then Alcaraz winning the men's as well.
Are you a cricket fan, Josh?
Yeah, I am a cricket fan. I got to one day of the Ashes. Yep. I was able to get to one day. So good. I actually shared a ticket with a mate. I went in for the second half of the day, and he went in for the first half of the day.
I like it.
Yeah.
So how loud was the Barmy Army?
Oh, very loud. I actually went to the Lord's Test, and traditionally that's been a test match where the Barmy Army don't get too loud. But I was
going to say, didn't some of them get banned from Lords?
Yeah, it was a pretty wild test match actually, Lords. It was a good one to go to.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Is it true though, Josh, that even though they sing the songs and give the Aussies some banter, at the end of the day, everyone's shaking hands, aren't they? It's nothing too bad in the crowd.
Yeah. I think that's the way. Yeah.
And that's what happens here too. When they come out here, everyone has a beer with them afterwards. You know, at the end of the day, they're passionate cricket fans.
We have the Richies out here for the Sydney Test.
We do have the Richies, the Richie Pinnos. Yeah.
So that's probably our equivalent of the Barmy Army.
Now we've got just on 3.5 minutes, so let's go
Can
for
Zoe
Melbourne.
Hang on, Zoe wants to ask a really quick question.
What's your favourite horse?
My favourite horse over the years, it was probably Winx.
I knew you were going to say that, Josh.
I was captivated by Winx. So yeah, Winx was just awesome. So never got to see Winx actually live, unfortunately. I saw Black Caviar live when I was very young, but yeah, Winx. I watched most of her races. So yeah, Winx, favourite racehorse.
Have you ever called a greyhound race? Sorry, Danny. Have you called a greyhound race, Josh?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, my greyhound's doing laps around the house right now, mate. So he's going nuts. I don't know what he's doing.
Paul, you better get on to them at Picnic Bet. They can give you odds on your horse, on your greyhounds, and who's going to win around your Landry. So we've got one more in the context of the spirit of the Spring Carnival. Go. Who's going to win that?
Who's going to win the Melbourne Cup?
That was going to be my question. Who's your tip, Josh?
I'm with Without a Fight actually to do the Cups double. It's drawn a tricky barrier 16, but yeah, I think I think it's a pretty darn good horse. So yeah, that's probably my tip. I've actually got to do a phantom call tomorrow morning before I leave for Mansfield on 3AW. So I'm going to have Without a Fight as the winner, I think, beating Vauban.
What about you,
Rightio,
Danny?
look
Who's your tip, Danny?
Oh, look, I'm going for one of the girls down low in the weights with Craig Williams aboard. I reckon she's got a good chance. I can't pronounce her name. But yeah, and
Listowska, I
look,
think it is.
that's I'm
I
a
think that's how
spastic
you
mon-
pronounce it.
I'll leave it to you because I get terribly tongue tied. So yeah, I'll leave that one with you. And yeah, I thought Without a Fight had a good chance. I think the track might end up a bit firm for Gold Trip. Yeah, and look, the fairy tale would be if Ollie's horse makes it into the Cup field, doesn't get scratched, and it runs a cracker too. But you know, sentimental all the way.
And the favourite looks a very good horse, but same again. You know, is the track going to be too hard for it? That's the question.
They have set that horse for this race.
Yes.
It was supposed to come last year.
Yep.
And they thought, no, they'll hold off on another 12 months and get it a bit more experienced and then bring it over. So it's going to be a great race. Let's be honest. We'll be, in saying that, I'll be getting ready to watch my horses go around at Mansfield. So
yes, and my heart's actually with a horse called Solcombe, and I think Josh would know why. It's owned by a few of the Richmond boys. So good luck to that, and good luck to everybody at Mansfield tomorrow. I reckon it's going to be a cracking crowd too. I'm gonna dress up, Danny, being Melbourne Cup Day. I'll have something decent on for once in my life. And good luck tomorrow, Josh. Great calling. And absolute pleasure to have you on the show, mate. And I'm going to stick my head out here, Danny. This bloke's going places. I'm going to call it now. This guy, in about 2 years' time, will be way too good for this show. He's going to be doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, but I'll bet you any money he'll still come back to talk to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
He's a
look forward
superstar.
to seeing you tomorrow, Josh.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
luck
you
with
very
your
much.
phantom call. And
Cheers.
we'll catch up with you soon. Good luck to everybody tomorrow, both at the picnics and everywhere else they are. Get your hand out of that, Zoe.